Before the racing got underway, we took the opportunity to catch up with two of the main contenders. First off, Andy Donut Stewart.
We've had one breakdown at Brands Hatch, what cost us a lot of points, but apart from there we've been in the top three, so we just go out there and do our best.
Had the prop shop come to join me inside the car at Mallory Park, which gave us a bit of a shock, but it went fairly well on testing. Got a new engine in the car from the same guy that's doing Jeff Simpson's engine, and that seemed to make a big difference. We were quickest in testing yesterday, so fingers crossed for the race.
And we're on board here with Andy Stewart, third in the championship currently. He's got Alistair Lane and Jeff Simpson ahead of him in the championship, but on the road ahead of him is Dave Longhurst as they make their way towards us for the first time. On the left-hand side of your screen, Michael Smith, the local man on his local circuit. To the behind him now is Steve Dudman. Going through in third place, David Tennant. Side by side there, a battle with on the inside John Engledow, and on the outside Dave Briggs. Just look at the wall of metal facing Andy Stewart there as they come around towards the chicane for the first time. And Andy Stewart there in that 19 truck has the championship leader right behind him in the number 3 truck. That's Jeff Simpson. Well, we were promised a cracking battle here at Croft, and that's already what it's shaping up to be. There's been lots of talk about who will do what to whom, and how this is all going to shape out we'll find out over the ensuing 20 laps that this race will take the place of. There is Jeff Simpson in the 3 truck. Out of Tower Bend they come. All made it through the first corner, and in fact completed the first lap without any dramas at all. Dave Longhurst there coming through to cross the line down in 7th place on this opening tour. Flashing through they go. Michael Smith made a cracking start there in the 93 truck, but David Tin just had a little bit look down the inside, and further back Andy Stewart is passed to the inside by, Alan Fisher got to the inside of Andy Stewart, nearly lost it there as they came down to Clervaux, the first right-hander here at Croft. Just 5 miles from Darlington we are up here in the northeast. It's a cracking venue, and we're on the shorter circuit here at Croft, but that seems to suit Graham White. He's in the yellow truck there, number 13, just moving up ahead and picking up a spot as he goes. Through Tower they come again. Cracking manoeuvre there. Oh, and the leader is off. Oh, he's out to grass. Oh, and so too Andy Stewart thrown by that. Well, the race leader, Michael Smith, zooming off into the grass, and Mike Jordan is caught there in an incident with Tony Proctor. Well, it's all happening on this lap. Unbelievable stuff. First of all, Michael Smith goes off into the grass, so that's him out of the lead. That will promote David Tin up to be our leader in the 5 truck. Behind him, Dave Briggs and Jeff Simpson. Also caught up in that is Steve Dudman. That's him in the 8 truck, languishing there. And we may well see the black and yellow quartered flags here, which will be a pace lap situation. But, well, at the moment, I have to say that Steve Dudman's truck is well off the racing line, but right on the racing pace is Jeff Simpson. He moves up to go second alongside Dave Briggs in the InTouch Cellular truck. Well, 3 passes 2, and that is Jeff Simpson there, right in the middle of those 3. He is really desperately keen to take 200 points that go with a race victory here, and he's set about his task with absolute skill and drama. But what about this? Andy Stewart back at the moment in 9th position. That's a lowly place there for Andy Stewart. Remember, he is one of only 3 drivers that have won races in the pickup truck series so far. There have been 10 races, and here goes Simpson for the lead, and Simpson will slot through. Masterful performance by Jeff Simpson at the completion of lap 4. Simpson slots through to take that top spot and demotes David Tin down to 2nd, and likewise going through to Dave Longhurst, the very likeable guy from Worthing. Well, the crowd watching on here and enjoying every second of this. Up ahead of Andy Stewart, there's a cracking scrap going on. Graham White goes to the inside, he'll move up, so too will Andy Stewart. That's poor old John Engledow, who's squeezed out in the black truck. He'll be pushed back down the order to be 8th now. Flashing through they go, reaching speeds of 135 miles an hour as they cross the start line here. And Alan Fisher there in the 52 truck. All of these trucks running Vauxhall 2-litre 16-valve double overhead cam units. Very powerful, very highly tuned, and a huge amount of preparation goes into getting them to sing their favourite song, and that is to take the driver on the way to a victory. This is a cracking scrap going on here. Graham White and Andy Stewart, they're great pals in the paddock. A lot of time for each other to help each other out if they've got problems, but I'll tell you, once that flag is waved, and the lights go green, they will fight it out for every inch of the way. Oh, and there's drama now. Into the pit lane comes the second in the championship, man. That's Alistair Lane. Well, Ali Lane then into the pit lane, the bonnet being taken off, and there is Ali. And clearly a problem of dramatic proportions sidelining him. Well, they might be able to get that fixed and get him out. If he can get through and finish in 15th place or below, he'll still pick up 20 points, and that could prove to be very, very valuable to him at the end of the season as Andy Stewart moves up alongside Dave Briggs. Briggs is going to lose that place, and Stewart will move up to 6th. So Andy Stewart with the onboard camera in that 19 truck, he moves up into 6th place. Everybody else flashing through. So good solid manoeuvre by Andy Stewart. He was held up though a little bit behind Graham White and also behind Dave Briggs, but managed to get his way through now. And there is Bruce Evans, the Welshman, in the 33 truck, making his debut this year in the truck series. But there's our race leader, Jeff Simpson in the 3 truck. Dave Longhurst there in 2nd. It's David Tin in 3rd place, and a great scrap going on for 4th at the moment. Led as it is, here's the battle for 4th. Graham White leading Alan Fisher, who is under huge pressure from Andy Stewart, and Stewart, I'm sure, will look to try and make a manoeuvre. Now, will he go to the inside or the outside? The great thing about the truck racing is that you'll see these drivers, they don't care, you know, they'll go to the inside or the outside, wherever there is a gap. Well, there's no gap at all this time for Andy Stewart. He's locked in there. In fact, great driver's eye view there. Oh, and Fisher runs a little bit wide. I don't think there's a gap there that Stewart can get through, though, this time. They come to the chicane, clipping curbings left and right, and did Stewart get the better drive out of there? He might just have done, you know, as they come up to Tower, which is where the leader is at the moment. There's the 2nd place man, Dave Longhurst, and here comes this battle for 5th. In fact, while these two are fighting it out, behind Mike Jordan in that 77 truck there is making terrific progress. Remember, he had the spin on the final turn, which is where they are now. Got into contact with Tony Proctor. That spun it right the way down to 12th place, would you believe? He's now clawed his way back up through the field and making terrific progress, but not perhaps as good at the moment as Jeff Simpson. There again is Jordan, right behind Dave Briggs. Oh, and Alistair Lane, who had rejoined from the pit lane, is going to retire just ahead of the leader. So that's desperate misfortune for Alistair Lane. He's already had 1 race win this year. That was at Knockhill up in Scotland, just back in May. But sadly, he's not going to see the checkered flag on this occasion. Well, hopefully they'll be able to get that car sorted out for the 2nd race, and we'll have that for you later on. But here comes Andy Stewart, and this time Alan Fisher runs wide, and that's just the opportunity that Andy Stewart was looking for. So Stewart slots through. He'll move himself up now, the order to go into 5th spot. And that will demote Fisher down to 6th, of course. But here's the man on the move at the moment, very much Mike Jordan. He has got that car really working well. I mentioned before that he was the quickest in practice, and certainly that form has not deserted him. Well, a new 3rd place man might be just Graham White. Yeah, White to the inside of Tin. So Graham White, Chalky, he's known as in the paddock, moves up. David Tin back to 4th, but this is cracking stuff from Mike Jordan. The man in his sights now is Alan Fisher. Alan, who did a couple of outings in V6s earlier on, but he's lost the place now. Jordan very late on the brakes. He goes through. Classic manoeuvre at Clermont. Oh, he nearly ran a little bit wide there, didn't he? Just running out of track, but holds on to that position. This scrap between Mike Jordan and Andy Stewart has been a thrilling one over the last lap, and Mike Jordan, just as you rejoin us, takes the position. Well, superb stuff by Mike Jordan. He outbraked Andy Stewart into the first corner, Clermont here at Croft, and sensational stuff. Jordan then through. That'll put him up into 4th place. Still, our leader is Jeff Simpson. I was about to say, in 2nd place is Dave Longhurst, as Longhurst pulls into the pit lane, so that's a desperate retirement for the worthy man. Well, he was on his way to 175 points and a famous 2nd place at the very least. But that 2nd place now is inherited by Graham Chalky White. So Chalky from Dorking in the 13 truck moves up. That also moves up, of course, David Tin there in the 5 truck. He's now 3rd. Mike Jordan in 77 is 4th. And there is Andy Stewart going through in the 19 truck at the back of this 3-way truck battle. He's back down there in 5th position. But there's our race leader, Jeff Simpson, really stretching his lead now. Mentioned before that he's had 7 wins, would you believe, already from 10 starts. And Mike Jordan moves up into 3rd place. So Jordan in the John Guest truck, up he is into 3rd place. David Tin demoted yet another place, and Andy Stewart now snaffling away at the rear end of that truck. He wants that position off David Tin. Look how close they are. Andy Stewart won't even be able to see the tailgate on that truck ahead of him. He's running so close there. Think of the speeds that they're tearing round this Croft Circuit at. Certainly, well, there is a great example of how close they're running, and you can slipstream in these trucks if you get right up behind the man in front of you. It provides a great shoot forward, and that's exactly what Andy Stewart's going to do at the first corner. He's late on the brakes, turns in, and, well, he nearly runs wide, just clips the curbing on the exit, but that puts Andy Stewart up into 4th place, clips the curbing, almost takes to the air there. Certainly that front inside tyre there lifting up. But no problems thus far for Jeff Simpson. That truck looks to be in good position. He's in amongst the slower runners now. And Simpson tears off another lap and starts his final navigation. Getting to the inside of Tony Proctor there, who after that first corner incident, or rather last corner incident, I should say, dropping back through the pack. Here is Andy Stewart, David Tin there, back now. Alan Fisher has decided to join the fray. And the checkered flag being readied. Well, Simpson on his way to his 8th victory of the season. That is a stunning performance. Oh, and Bruce Evans spins as if in celebration. Not what he had in mind, I don't think. Well, here is the checkered flag, and here to take it is Jeff Simpson. Another victory for Simpson then. 2nd place will go to Graham Chalky White, and coming home in 3rd, Mike Jordan with a supreme drive. Well, what about that from Jeff Simpson?
I don't know what lap I got in the lead, but it seemed very early, and I just seemed to cruise around. It was lovely, brilliant, lovely race.
I've knocked the bottom end out of the little truck doing that, because we've been over every bit of curb and every bit of grass, so there's all sorts of noises coming from underneath, so we best have a quick look and see if it's all going to be okay for the second race.
Well, while Mike Jordan has a quick look for the second race, the crowd are getting ready to take their places for what should be a cracker. And in fact, when that cracker got underway, there was an incident at the first corner which pulled out the red flags. Mike Jordan there in the 77 truck made a good start, but look behind. Alan Fisher sent into a spin, contacted the tyre wall and the Armco, and brought his truck to a position which the stewards felt had to be removed. Well, Bruce Evans didn't mind. He was one man going out to mow, and he would take the restart. So Bruce Evans back at the front there on the outside. To the inside of him, Alan Seeger on the second row. It's Tony Proctor on the inside, Dave Briggs on the outside as they come towards us, and there is Mike Jordan in that 77 truck. You can just see him there back on the 4th row. They all make their way through. Oh, there's contact there, I'm sure, by Bruce Evans and Tony Proctor as they went through the first corner. A little bit of telltale smoke pouring off Bruce Evans' truck. I'm sure I spotted that. Oh, and David Tin has to give way as they come through the chicane, and that will run Mike Jordan wide. Oh, Jordan, 2 wheels on the grass, and look who's gone up the outside. Jeff Simpson, our race winner and current championship leader, seized the opportunity with both hands, said thanks very much. The welcome mat was down, he wiped his feet and walked on by. Well, great opportunism by Jeff Simpson, up ahead of arch rival Mike Jordan. Mike Jordan, of course, currently leading the V8 Championship for Eurocars, but here's the man of the moment in the trucks, going up ahead of Chalky White. So Simpson moves up, and there's the smoke coming off Bruce Evans' truck that I talked about earlier on. Now, that might well have been as an incident when we had the red flag, but you can see it clearly there, pouring off as they all make their way through Clervaux, and Simpson is run out wide. Ooh, nearly took those tyres out there. Frantic stuff up front, everybody trying to keep Simpson behind them. It's going to be a desperate battle for them, you have to believe that. Bruce Evans there in 3rd place currently, but Simpson's the man behind him in 4th. And already, well, Jeff Simpson just is like the proverbial bullet from the gun, isn't he? As soon as those lights go, he's off like a shot, and he'll come through this time behind Tony Proctor, but Mike Jordan only about 3 trucks behind him, so Jordan will want to keep in touch. Bad news, I'm afraid, for our onboard cameraman, Andy Stewart. Should mention him, he has been sidelined with an engine problem. So Andy Stewart, who had such a good run in the first race, not taking the restart for this race, but Alistair Lane, by contrast, did. They managed to solve that problem. Although I have to say, that car sounds very flat, and that's the black and orange flag. Well, that's a flag which indicates that if it's your number held up next to it, you must visit the pit lane and talk to the clerk of the course. They fear that your car might be falling apart and you might not be aware of it, and that's the problem for Bruce Evans. That's that smoke coming off him. They'll want to check that out and make sure that it's not going to be a problem for other competitors out on the circuit. Here's Mike Jordan getting past Alan Seeger. Good grip and scrap going on here, led by Tony Proctor. There's Chalky White, 2nd place in the earlier race. Oh, and Alan Seeger spins it out. Poor old Alan Seeger. Oh, my word. Well, he was running so well. Bruce Bruce Evans, as you can see, has ignored the black and orange flag, so he's now being black flagged. That's the end of his race. I'll bet you bottom dollar he claims not to have seen it, though. Many of the drivers do. Sometimes they're with good reason, but oftentimes not. John Engel now in the 50 truck. Behind him, Dave Longhurst. Longhurst, as you'll have noticed, managing to have put himself right, but look what's happened. While we were looking at that black flag, Mike Jordan's got through ahead of Jeff Simpson. So Jordan then on lap 6 goes ahead, and that will put Jeff Simpson back in second place. Well, these two surrounded by Jordan, runs wide. Oh, Jordan is off. He's just completely gone straight on. He's removed half the front of that truck, I think. Oh my word. Well, have you ever seen anything like it? The whole of that front end has disappeared. Has he damaged his suspension? That would be the worry. Oh, here's Bruce Evans. Now, what's he got to say for himself? What have I done, Governor? Oh dear. Well, that's him out the race anyway, but Jeff Simpson can count his lucky stars. Oh, Jordan's retired. Well, I suspect it's a cooling problem, that. Oh, it's all happening in this. Well, my word, what, I wonder then, is the problem for Mike Jordan?
He's popped a rear brake caliper seal. I was quite comfortable in the lead, just holding station from Jeff. And the lap before, just the pedal had just gone a little bit long, got on the brakes at the end of the straight there, and it just went straight to the floor. So it was either spin it into the gravel or kick my foot in and try and get through it. And I didn't realise quite so much had fallen off it. I have to say, I thought probably the front spoiler had gone. I didn't realise the whole front end was off it. But I wound all the brake bias right to the front just to see if I could give chase to Jeff just on the front brakes. But I've lost them completely now that there are no brakes on it, so I thought I'd better retire with that.
Well, there you go, the story from the horse's mouth. Mike Jordan, well, you have to say in good humour, really. Well, in great humour at the moment is the leader, Jeff Simpson. There he is, and Jeff Simpson will come to take the checkered flag and the victory, and a double celebration for Jeff Simpson. 2 wins, maximum points, 400 points to his credit, and that is going to cement his position at the top of the championship.
Slowly caught Mike, and I think he locked up going into this corner down here, and went off. It was just plain sailing. I was very pleased he went off, really. Sorry to say it, Mike.
Well, I'm sure Mike won't mind that too much, but there's the confirmation. Jeff Simpson takes the 400 points. Great performance by Graham White, coming home in second with 330. As far as the championship's